and welcome to another fantastic episode of Constructing New Walden City. My name is Dr. Wasabi. I think it is episode 25 and the year is now 2022. I'm so glad you can come along and watch this video. We've got some great stuff planned. We're going to be working on the glow pop factory as I promised in episode 24. But before I say anything at all, I just want to say, if you like my videos, if you like this video right here, right now, then please like it and give my channel a sub. It is greatly appreciated because, of course, it boosts my channel in the sacred YouTube algorithm and spreads my videos to you amazing, just fantastic people. So, to recap, bumped the mic there. So, to recap, we've been doing a lot of builds over the Christmas break, a lot of casual building. I didn't want to burn myself out. I wanted myself to relax and to generally enjoy the Christmas period because uni's off, and it's a great way for me to explore new build ideas and some ideas for the channel. So we will do a build tour at the end of the video, but of course, like I said, we are going to be using this episode to make some good progress on the glow pop building. So I think without further ado, let's head over there right now. And we are here at the glow pop factory. Now this is just, I always get amazed when I see this building because I can hardly believe I've built it myself. So we're going to be working on this building right here, which you may not have seen before. This is the office section of the factory itself. I kind of added this in because I did some research, and a lot of the times it isn't just like the manufacturing floor. A lot of it is just offices and managerial rooms where people can manage, so to speak. Now, I just love this design I've made here. It's a lovely Victorian-esque. I don't want to say high-rise, but you definitely get that feel that it is old. It has been here for a long time, and we're definitely going to pull on that theme as well. We kind of build up this place. I say build up; it's already pretty built up, but we're going to be doing the interior in here. Now, you may have seen by the tutorial, the thumbnail, what we have been doing in here. Now, what was the room inside? I can answer that question. This is the stockholders room, or you know, whatever I like to call it. This is where, you know, fancy pants, rich suits would come over to talk stocks and monies and all the schmeckles they'll be making from selling glow pop. So this is a really good room, to be fair. A really nice use of interior design here. So we're going to be flying over here through these offices. I'll give them a tour at the end of the video, but what we're going to do, we're going to go up the stairs and work on this final area. So I'm thinking something along the lines of maybe a security floor where all the security guards go and there's loads of cameras in the rooms and something like that. Or maybe I'll have a kind of, I don't want to say storage, but I feel like it would be like really interesting to have like a final floor where it's just boxes and boxes of just paper and files, and it's almost like a maze of file cabinets. And I think that'll be a really nice design to explore on the final floor. And of course, we'll do the roof. And I'm thinking something along the lines of like a fire escape, because I was thinking there's not really many ways to go out of apart from this door here and maybe the window, but of course when you're on like the 5th floor it isn't really an option. So what we'll do, we'll put in a fire escape over here and then put that all the way down, because I want to give some, I always like to kind of give those kind of details because they're really small, but I think they really help to give a build personality and a bit of panache. That's the first time I've said that in 2022. Oh, it's going to be a good year, folks. So I think without further ado, let's get on with our time lapse. And we are back now. This is what I'm talking about. So the idea is, I've got this really good idea that I just came up with as I was making the floor design. I'm going to make it that the rollers that I told you about that are going to connect this kind of archive are going to hide the room, so to speak. So it's going to be something like this. Oh, polished blackstone. Yes, they'll break up the color. So if we run this along, like so. Just running it along all the way across the room until we meet the end, which is right there. I was running out of sentence. And we do the same over here. Then we can make it look like the way the archive is kind of positioned on the rollers as you slide it back and forth, is that when it's actually put to the side, it hides the room, which I think is quite an interesting touch. Now what we can do here is just give it a stop here and cap it off with a lovely polished blackstone slab, like so. Running over here, that doesn't obstruct the door too much, lovely jubbly. Over here. Now, how are we going to design this? Well, I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to build this in darkness. So, let's get out our bed and slap. Ah, lovely jubbly. Right. So, I'm thinking something along the lines of, I don't want to say copper, perhaps, but something that looks a bit more modern, and then we can perhaps put some older blocks in here. So what I'll do is kind of make a pillar over here, like so. We'll have it so that we'll have wooden beams as the shelving, a bit more retro, but again, it kind of breaks up that color because we don't want everything to be grey, because then you'll just have brick and then just a whole mishmash of different greys, which is not what we want here. We want to have it a bit less monotone than the floor below. So we'll have a shelf here, a shelf, oh pardon me, over here, a shelf here, and then we'll have it connected by, I'm saying, either chains, or we'll also have them stacked up against each other, like so. Oh, no, I've got an idea. We'll have it so it goes down by one. So this one is 3 apart. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is 2 apart. Like so. And then the final one will be 1 apart. Excellent. And then we'll just smush them together like so. But before we actually do that, we need to fill out these shelves of stuff. So we'll get out our storage units and other malarkey, love that word, and we'll kind of fill this up. So let's just bring this back here. So the effect we're going for is that it's not one big block of shelving, it's more like these strips of archival shelves have been stacked together, so it forms this big shelf. And what we're going to place here is, I don't want to say, yes, we'll put a grindstone here, that way it can differentiate the different shelves. So this is what I mean, to make it look a little less blocky, kind of have these individual blocks which really kind of define the borders of each shelf. And let's put out some note blocks and composters and crafting benches and beehives. And what else? We can use grey wool. Let's do it. So, Okay, like this and this. Just filling it up. Just go random. Go ham. Light this thing up like a Christmas tree, folks. So, just putting a beehive over there. Maybe two over here. Yeah, I'm liking that. Like so. Oof, now doesn't that look nice? Okay, so we've pretty much finished the shelving over here. So that's the bare bones of the build complete. Now we don't have much time left, so we're going to switch over to the big floor. I wouldn't say big floor, but you know what I mean. So we are going to be using a much more older kind of color palette over here. So we've got our waxed blocks of copper. I'm not drunk. What's happening? Might be the lack of sleep, folks. So we're going to get out our waxed blocks of copper. I'm going to kind of stack them in pillars like so. We're going to do this until it kind of forms around the room. That's good. Awesome. Now, we're going to break this up by more waxed exposed copper. We'll be seeing now how I'm going to do this. Like so. Just to break up, because we don't want it looking new, we want it looking old, decrepit, without light. One thing I want to note is that I've been using tinted glass in the room, and the idea is it stops the sunlight from getting on the archives and kind of damaging them, because that actually is a real life thing. Oftentimes museums will stop showing sunlight in the archives to keep it cool, keep it dry, and to generally keep the documents intact and safe. So we'll still use the oak wood slabs, but we'll make it a bit more rickety, so to speak, like so. Just make it as rickety as possible. Lovely, jubbly. Now, I won't put anything on here because this is where the window is going to be, but perhaps we can add something here that'll break up from the rest of the room. Perhaps a nice spider web, or maybe something's trying to break in from the window. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not Batman. Like so. Okay, looking pretty good so far. So now we're going to get our andesite. Just knock it up a bit. Like so. Now, of course, the andesite breaks up the stone floor, gives it a bit more weathering, a bit more damage, which is the effect we're going for in here. Like so. And of course, we have to populate our stuff with our shelves with more stuff, more objects, and more items of value. So perhaps we'll have the odd random valuable block. So we'll have some furnaces in here. Not furnaces, bookshelves. Enchantment tables. What else? What else? Brewing stands. Like so. Just odd stuff that the factory's kept. Perhaps out of sentimentality. Perhaps out of a connection to their past. Something along those lines. Let's see. Perhaps a shroom light. Because, of course, this company is connected to the Glowco company. We'll have some documents in here, which will add to the lore of the building itself. Like so. Ender chests, and barrels. Yes, this will do nicely. Barrels always look better in like an older aesthetic, in my opinion. So these are great for things like this. Oh, pardon me. So we just build this down like so. Now over here, this is where the fun begins. we're gonna get our spider webs out into our cobwebs. We're just gonna create a big blob of cobweb over here, and then we'll kind of put some over here. But we'll have it so that it all concentrates around here, like so. My machine went off. If you heard that noise. So what we're doing is we're going to mix that cobweb up with a few other blocks, perhaps some calcite. Perhaps the spider webs have become so thick that they look like a solid from a distance. That's what we're going to do. So we're just going to do this, and that, and this, and I'm looking at the calcite, and perhaps it isn't the best block. It's very on the fly when I'm building like this. So let's use white stained glass. Ooh, I tell you what, I think that's perfect. The white stained glass mixed with the cobwebs, that has such a good effect. I amaze myself sometimes, and it's scary. Right, so we're gonna bring this out like so. That's such an interesting effect. I haven't tried that before. Well, you learn a new thing every day. Right, so that is the secret room pretty much complete. We've got a bunch of other stuff to do in this room, so I think what we'll do is we'll have a short intermission, then I can show you the finished product. So, I think without further ado, I'll be right back after the short intermission. And we are back after that short intermission. Now, you may be wondering, why am I facing the forest? The reason is we are outside on the side of the building, and I chose this position because we made the fire escape. Look at this. It looks a bit flimsy, I know, but this is the perfect look I want for it. I want it to be old, I want it to be slightly flimsy, and I want it to look like that it's seen better days. Because of course this is an old building. So with the fire escape out of the way, let's see what we have done. So off of the roof, we've done these massive ventilation units over here, and the logic behind it is it's a big building, so it deserves some big ventilation. This is my rule with most buildings. You'll see in the city with smaller buildings, the smaller rooftops, I'll make smaller ventilation units with the classic 4-block and the rails around. But for this, this required something a bit more drastic. So I used some lovely quartz over here as the kind of the fan guards, and then the iron trapdoors as the fans themselves slowly spinning around. Obviously nothing too fast. It would take off otherwise. So I replicated it here, did a slightly smaller one to avoid repetition with the same kind of design choice in mind. I have detailed the roof with some lovely kind of texturing over here, nothing too fancy. What I usually do is I go back and kind of bring it out the andesite and all that jazz, and kind of make it look a lot more old, if that makes sense. But anyway, we go into the roof access. Of course, we've got. I love these little lights. So this is a roof access, and we've got a little overhanging light. I just love this. It's so neat. It's so niche. It's so, I don't want to say quirky, but it's just a neat little thing that you can put anywhere. It's a little lamp outside the door frame, so when it's night, this lights up, and this lights your entrance. In a grand, I put this outside the hotel, so I promise not to put too many of these, otherwise it would be a lamp city. So, anyway, we go down here, some lamps, go down here to complete darkness. We'll have to fix the lighting on that. But we go into the storage room. So this is the main area, the kind of reception. Now I made it so the wall actually is built into the desk. So the desk itself was made at the time of the construction of the factory, which makes sense because, you know, they'll want to be storing all of their precious documents and stuff like that. So you have a little desk, you have some minor documents in here which are under lock and key. You know, it's like ins and outs, who's been in there, who hasn't, security records if they need them. And of course you have the big door over here, which I put in lots of iron bars and blocks of iron. You can't really beat the classic kind of block variation when you're going for this kind of look. So in we go. Now again, I love the effects of the tinted windows, because if it is dark, you cannot see a thing out of it. Now I was going to turn it tonight, but I'm pretty sure you can see if you rewind to when I was outside that there wasn't very much light going out of the top floor, which is what I want to intend, because you don't want to really see what's going inside the archive room, would you, if there was any spy helicopters outside. I'm pulling at straws here, folks, but you get what I mean. I think this room has a really nice effect. One thing I will do, though, is work on the rooftop, perhaps make a little rim around the side, because this is literally the roof. If I break a block, it goes out to the outside. So we'll find out a way to make that fixable. On a whole, this room is pretty great. I have made the walls of the rooms themselves dividers for shelves, which I think is a really, really neat touch. It almost implies that these were built with the factory, as with the desk, which is something I really, really like in this build. And another neat detail I put in is these scrape marks from the archive shelving, so that these would slide back, but they'll be scraping across the brick and the wall itself, which I think just adds that extra bit of detail. It's all about environmental storytelling, folks. Honestly, you'll get so many more brownie points if you add this kind of stuff in, because it just piques people's interests. And honestly, that alone could spark people to explore your build and all of that jazz. Now, at the end here is this big ventilation fan, because this part of the building may get a bit hot, because heat rises. So in those long, hot summers, this big ventilation fan will blow and keep the area cool. Now, for the piece de resistance, the secret pot. Wow, dramatic entrance cue there. Holy moly, I was not expecting that. Well, I guess that's what you kind of expect from Minecraft audio cues. So, this is the secret room. Nothing much has changed, really. I haven't really put in much lighting apart from this shroom light, because I wanted to be atmospheric and, well, a bit creepy. Not too creepy, but creepy enough, so it'll pique your interest. But I just think it's a neat little server room. It's so much detail. Honestly, this is what rewards exploration sometimes, because you may feel this is a bit drab, a bit plain, but you come into here, and my word, what a texture bonanza, people. So that is the storage room, and of course the security office. And well, I think that's been episode 25 of constructing New Walden City. I want to thank you for watching the first episode of 2022. It's going to be a phenomenal year in terms of growth of my channel, and in terms of basically everyone else getting back to normal, with things outside happening. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this episode. If you like what I do, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I was looking at analytics, and over 80% of you aren't subscribed. I love you, really, really, really do. But you gotta subscribe. I mean, I won't know if you appreciate my content unless you do. So please like and subscribe for more content. I do uploads every weekend, and well, live streams every weekdays. I want to say goodnight to you from the bottom of my heart. Good night, and of course, as always, God bless.